always up for making a really pretty ring and deciding what kind of materials would look good in a ring. So when I'm working with my wire jewelry, my copper earrings and such, I have tiny little offcuts of copper wire, and I saved those because I knew they would come in handy for something one day. So I decided to combine them with some fire opals and put them in a ring. So that's what I'm going to do in this video, and just give you a little insight into the process. So what I'm doing here is laying in a base color. Just like a painter lays in a background on a canvas, this really gives your piece depth, whether it's a ring or a painting or other kinds of artwork. You want to lay in a base. And with the fire opal I chose for this ring, the black is just spectacular. Just wait till you see it. Oh my goodness. And now it's time to place the inlay materials. Every artist, I think, has their preferred method of placing the inlay pieces, and this is mine. I'm very deliberate about it. So I kind of lay in some secret sauce for securing the inlay pieces. It gives me plenty of time to work and place the pieces right where I want them. And yes, I'm using a little wooden stick. Nothing too complicated. I also use a large lighted magnifier when I'm placing these tiny little pieces. Sometimes reading glasses just aren't enough. With crushed opals, when they're dry, they look kind of dull, maybe a little bit dusty. But when they're wet, like with the wet inlay base that I'm using, and then of course in the final product with the layers and layers of protective CA, the color just bursts from them. It's quite an amazing transformation. It's a little like putting a jigsaw puzzle together, but in free form. Some people think this part is tedious. I think it's relaxing. I enjoy it. So this goes on for a while. And then once everything is in place and the first cure has been been done, then I use a little tapper to tap the inlay material down. I try to get it below the shoulders of the ring. Sometimes you can, sometimes you can't. But it all buffs out in the end. So here's what it looks like once all the inlay material is in. And then I use tiny drops of it's called CA. It's a jeweler's grade glue, for lack of a better word. But this process goes on and on. Thin layers of CA, and then you cure it, and more thin layers, and you cure it, and you build up those layers. Thin layers allow the filler to get into every little crack and crevice, and that's going to be important for the overall depth and shine. This could be 10, 12 layers of CA. I don't know, it just depends. Build it up to where it domes, and it makes a nice dome over the material. I do this until none of the inlay material is sticking up. And now we get to sand off a lot of that material that we put on there. Not the CA, not the opals themselves. So I start with really rough grit sandpaper. And this first pass is getting the inlay material down even with the shoulders of the ring. There's lots of sanding. I'm not going to show you all of it because you would be bored. Once you get to a certain point, then you start wet sanding, and that's what I'm doing here. And the wet sanding keeps heat from building up on the ring, because when it's spinning at however many RPM it's spinning on the lathe, all that sanding will build up heat. So the water cools the metal, cools the materials, and also helps for a smoother finish. So I sand up to, I don't know, probably 4,000 or 5,000, sometimes 7,000 grit sandpaper. And then I switch to sort of a cloth type sanding material. It's really fine grit, and just really brings up that high polish that we're after. And again, that goes on for a while, working through the grits progressively. getting there. And then the last couple of steps are diamond polishing paste and finally a mirror finish polish product. All this because I wanted to use my copper offcuts in a ring. And you'll see in the close-up how they sparkle and show off. One more polishing step. Now, if you've watched this far, I want to give you a little thank you. If you'd like to own this Midnight Forge ring in your size, I'm offering a 20% discount just for my YouTube viewers. I'll put the link and the details in the description below. What do you think?